Hello everybody, NGS here and welcome back to Gundam Witch from Mercury. It's not the second season, apparently, because it's just named episode 13, which I guess makes sense. It very much feels like a two-parter of a season, and I think the initial assumption was that it's just going to be a two-parter. We simply didn't know whether it's gonna be 2 times 48 episodes or 2 times 24, or rather, if it's gonna be 48 episodes in 2 times 24, or is it gonna be 24 episodes, or however it's going to look. Apparently, it's 24 episodes, 2 times 12. So now we are entering the second part. And apparently there are still other things planned in the franchise of Witch from Mercury. At least one OVA, I believe, is also planned. I'm not sure about any movies. I don't think I've seen a movie, but I did see an OVA, if not two. We went through this current seasonals yesterday during a live stream, so you might want to check out the VOD. It's on the channel, and I looked into Witch from Mercury a little bit deeper, a little bit more. Nothing changed. It's not made by any different studio. Voice actors, I didn't take a look at them because I didn't want to be spoiled by any new characters. But it would surprise me if they changed voice actors between 2 parts of a season. So that probably didn't happen. The staff is probably also the same. I didn't see any trailers. I didn't see anything in fear of spoiling myself, so I'm getting into it completely blind. Exactly as if it was a continuation of the previous season. And the previous season, the first part, rather, ended on a very, very interesting note. Because not only is Miorine's father incapacitated, so to speak, he's probably still in some hospital or somewhere, not really in any shape to be directing the Benerit Group. And Suletta probably went back to school. I mean, yeah, they probably went back to school because where else would they be, right? So the only thing I know is that there is like a 2-week of a time skip between the finale of the previous season and the first episode of this season. So they are probably back at school. And Miorine probably has some issues with Suletta. Wouldn't surprise me if she was a little jumpy, if she was a little bit, traumatized, right? She might not want to look at tomatoes. She might shudder a little when Suletta tries to touch her, you know? Things like that. I fully expect that to happen. Then again, Miorine is strong, so perhaps she got over the splat very quickly. Kinda hard to tell. Very hard to tell, actually, because we ended the previous season on a note and in a moment where we didn't really have any follow-up to what happened, right? It was essentially just splat and roll the credits. So, kinda hard to tell how exactly Miorine took it. At the moment, of course, she was shocked and scared and whatnot, but we didn't see the direct fallout. So we will not see direct fallout in this episode because there is that 2-week of time skip. So unless we go for a little bit of a flashback at some point, then we will just see current Miorine. Miorine 2 weeks after the event and not Miorine directly after the event. So I wonder what became of her. And what else? What else? Are there any other implications of what happened at the end of the previous season? Well, Well, the pirates, right, from Earth are still at large. They haven't really been all like captured or killed or anything like that. At least not as far as we know. Maybe there was some, I don't know, some private militia of the Benerit Group or other corporations. We didn't really hear of any other groups, just the Benerit Group. So them probably they would send some mercenaries or private militia after them, maybe. Whether it's gonna amount to anything or not, that of course remains to be seen. We of course have Guel, who's probably even more traumatized than Miorine because he was directly responsible for the death of his father. That was a very, very fucked up situation. What led to that situation was essentially a bunch of mishaps, and it ended tragically. So I wonder how Guel is coping with that. Is he still living in the forest of the Asticassia Academy? Did he go back to serving on cargo ships, or is he just secluded somewhere on a lonely planet of Jupiter mining ore or whatever he wants to do with his life? There is, of course, another thing that was left. The blue-haired girl, Nina? No. I forgot her name. But yeah, her. She was involved with the space pirates that attacked the something space station where everybody was, and the bowl cut guy noticed that. So I wonder how that's going to go. Another thing that was kind of cut short, and we need to wait for this season, for the second part, to reveal and follow up with what happened. Is there anything else? Anything else? Well, of course, there's Prospera's plot of revenge, but that's like an overarching plot, so it's not exactly a like direct leftover from the previous part. It's just the overarching plot of the entire season, of the entire show, so kind of hard to talk about it in terms of just being cut short and unexplained, because right, the season was split in half, so of course the main thread will also be split in half. Anything else? Gundam Corporation and their newfound application of Gundam technology in medicine. I wonder what will become of that. Are they actually gonna be successful at doing making their medical equipment or not? And there is, I guess, the continued squabble between the Earthians and the Spatians, both in Asticassia and in general in the world. I wonder if that will be somehow resolved. Probably not. It's not something that's been set up as something that our heroes are trying to resolve. It's just the general state of the world. So I don't think it's in the scope of this series. Unless maybe just in the tiny microcosm of the Asticassia Academy, that might be where it gets solved, but unlikely. So I'm not really holding my breath for that. And I think that's about it. Yeah, I think that's about it from the previous part, at least as far as I can remember. We will, of course, see what will happen, actually, and I might be reminded of some more things. Actually, did I even go through my list of theories? If not, then let's go through it real quick. Where is it? Gundam. Airi is the MC, and unconfirmed. The Bishonen Council collectively defies their parents, probably not. Taking corporations down one by one remains to be seen. Ilan is a clone of his father, probably not. Suletta's mother becomes antagonist, Suletta goes against her, remains to be seen. Many Suletta 80 failures turn out into Gund bits Suletta perfected. I'm not sure what I meant by that. Gundams have souls, different Elan returns, Suletta confused. That's pretty much confirmed. Suletta isn't Airi. Airi slash Suletta ages slower because of modifications. Eri was sent somewhere else. Airi was turned into Ariel. Suletta is Airi's clone. Prospera wants to Crusader Kings to Suletta to Miorine to marry into the Benerit Group. Gundams attack pilots if the human brains inside of them came from unwilling people. They don't if the brain came from a willing person. Delling was the one to use Gund for military purposes. Someone's cult? What? Someone's gut gets stabbed in the cockpit. I have no clue what I meant by that. Miorine sees the keychain, knows she fucked up with Suletta. That's kind of what happened. Quiet Zero, EMP that fries Permet Tech, creating a bubble separated from the rest of space. Man and machine fusion, transhumanism. Big Sister Suletta, no clue what I meant by that. Assassins alive at Permet 4. Yeah, that was a thing that happened. So it goes to show that I should be really going through those at the end of a season and not at the beginning of the next one, because I tend to forget some things. Should I go through them right now? Not really. Plenty of those are still unconfirmed. So I think we will go through all of those theories and brand new ones at the end of this part, of the second part. Okay, I think we can just about get started. So, right. As always, you're gonna need your subs to follow along. If you haven't been there for the first season, why? But if you haven't been, you use the timer and sync up your own copy. I don't have picture-in-picture yet, maybe with time, but time's kind of short on my part, so that's something we'll see about. Sound, because I need to hear what's going on. I need to hear the new OP, the new ED. Hopefully we'll get them in this episode, although again that remains to be seen. But even then, the series has some great sound design, so I wouldn't want to miss it. And support the third S. Support the channel if you want monetarily. Patreon, thrown links in the description below. And if you don't want to spend any money, share my content, spread the word. It costs you absolutely nothing and helps the channel a lot. And now with all of that out of the way, we can start watching episode 1 of the second part of Gundam Witch from Mercury, aka episode 13. Version by subs, please. In 3, 2, 1, go. Welcome to Asticassia. Okay, starting right from a duel. Okay, I'm guessing people are trying to fight Suletta. The dueling committee accepts pretty much any duel, so... Because Guel is absent. Okay, we're getting a little bit of characterization for them. Literally. Literally, he's a different person. Ebony Boaz Azravan. Okay. He's just forever bored, isn't he? Nika, not Nina, Nika. Always. Her face is covered. Okay, no longer. I thought it's gonna have some significance that there's a shadow on her face. That she's not entirely into it, or, you know, something like that. Indeed. Okay, so they are fighting for Miorine. Ooh, deflected. Can't deflect them all, though. Easy. Easy peasy. She doesn't need to rest. Every battle ends in like a minute. Yeah, you can't really win against a mecha that's essentially a whole entire team. It's not a 1v1. It's a 1v however many Gambits Suletta has. Yeah. Unlikely. Interesting. Okay, so now you need to make up for it. It should, but every single Gundam, every single other mecha is vastly inferior to Ariel, so... All those machines were already inferior to Ariel, and now Ariel is rebuilt. So, what are we even talking about? Ooh, new OP. Like a true knight dedicating her fight to the fair maiden of her heart. Dead branches on Suletta's part, green trees on Miorine's. Is Guel homeless now? Oh, here's the Earth Pirates. This guy with his harem. Is that Aerie? Some new Gundams and returning Gundams. Okay, we have like fully shown Aerie and Aerie's mother. Like fully properly shown. Interesting. That's probably the biggest direct connection to the prologue that we've seen so far. We've seen some indirect connections where you can figure things out, right? But this is the first direct connection. Oh, of course. I mean, did you expect anything else? Yeah. Well, you better hope you don't. Yeah, we can splat anybody. They should probably build some, like, exosuits for themselves, though. Okay, so she's staying at Benerit. Taking over for her father, being the temporary ruler of the Benerit Group. Yeah, not a great look. Acting CEO, okay. Copies of Ariel. Yep. Okay, so they are looking for the culprits. Good to know. We must fight together, and yet everybody is, of course, split up, separated in their own little world. No, why would he? He would never lie to you. Shadik? Whatever came to your mind that you would suspect Shadik of doing anything? Okay, Suletta taking care of the greenhouse. Splat. Not really, no. I mean, you could have, like, swatted the guy away, but it would still kill him. So, in a less brutal way, sure. Source of who? Source of the fake aerials? Yeah, Nika is gonna be a little jumpy, isn't she? Yes, she's perfectly fine. Yeah, I just. Yeah, nothing serious. I just indirectly caused Delling's injury and all the weird shit that's been happening, all the bad shit that's been happening. But yeah, I'm perfectly fine. Besides that, Suletta is very simple. That's where her strength lies. She doesn't wallow, she doesn't question, she doesn't ruminate, she just acts. Yep. Whomst? Oh, the. Oh! Oh, hello! So they are enrolling at Asticassia. Interesting. I had a hunch, but then I was like, no, not possible. Yeah, it's the Earth House. But of course, Nika knows who they are. Okay. Yeah, she's Suletta's fangirl. So they're gonna be moles on the inside. Yeah, they're moles. Well, tough shit. You started it, kinda. So, yeah. You kind of fucked up. You kind of fucked up, didn't you? Having fun with her new younger sister, a feral child. And she added a new family member, demoted someone. Rejected. Are they keeping tabs on him? Yeah, completely unlike Earth. What did she steal? His communicator, probably, or something? I mean, yeah, you are. That's what a go-between does. Oh, Martin is the head of the house. Sure. Okay. Martin isn't stupid, at least. True. Rumble ring? Fuck is a rumble ring? I'd like to see that. Yeah, good question. Okay. I mean, we already know the winner, so. Yeah, she has bigger things on her head, like betrayal, espionage, terrorism, just engaging in a mild amount of tomfoolery. Because you're not fighting. You're on friendly terms. Whomst? Oh, hello, Nika. Yeah. Oh, she managed to start it up. Oh, hello, Suletta. What you doing here? And now you are blabbing about your secrets. So, and we are ending the episode, aren't we? We're 20 minutes in. But I must do all out. Just this once. Yeah, them's the rules. She's not wrong. The Gund format, not Gundams, but sure. To the death. Are they gonna illegally crank up the power output of their weapons? Probably. Miorine running away, being hard to catch, forever slipping out of her grasp. Ooh, those are the things that cause deaths of Gundam pilots who aren't using the special Gundam format that Ariel has. It had some proper name, but I forgot it. It's been a while since the previous season. Is this grown-up Suletta? She looks grown up. It's just a change of hairstyle, but she looks grown up. Okay, after credits. And here's the keychain. Yeah. It did. Of course she will. Yeah. Explain. Okay, sure, but what the fuck is Quiet Zero? It's some sort of a machine, I guess. Could it be like a solar system spanning EMP that turns off any technology more advanced than a pair of scissors? Wouldn't surprise me. Wouldn't surprise me. That was a very interesting opening to a season. And it's a shame that I'm not like a week behind nowadays, because I would love to watch another episode. See, being a few weeks behind with seasonals has the good side that if I feel like watching another, I can. If I feel like watching, I don't know, currently Benerit Saito-san and Oyuki Umenakaina, if I feel like watching it 2 days in a row, I can. Because I'm behind. I'm gonna have to wait a week. Fuck. Okay, we're not gonna have to wait for watching this episode again, though, because we're gonna do it just right now, shall we? Yes, we shall, of course. Asticassia School of Technology. Starting with a duel. Suletta is first, then Shadik, Ilan, Lauda, Jeffrey, Rachel, Sabina, Thidal, Ebony, and Renee. I like it. I like that every person who matters has their name highlighted in some color. Probably color appropriate to the company they are in. And then you have just Jeffrey, Rachel, Thidal, Ebony, whatever, they're just NPCs, they don't matter. It's a very interesting way of combat, though. You start with a 1v1, and then whoever wins fights the next person, and then whoever wins fights the next person. I've never seen this kind of a bracket kind of sort of thing. It's very interesting because it punishes the first winner, right? Because if you win the first match with severe damage, or you're tired after the first match, and then the second match damages you even further, and the second opponent is fresh and spry and haven't fought anybody, then you will eventually succumb to your injuries, to the damage to your mech. Yeah. Generally speaking, the last person in the queue has the best chances of winning. Of course, not when faced against Suletta, who finishes every duel in like 5 minutes, but in general, interesting. Very unfair, but it seems perfectly on brand for this school. So, yeah. The last pilot standing will be the new holder, of course. Brand new Elan. I'm glad that we're getting a little bit more characterization for those people. Directly speaking out their names, whichever house they belong to, their issues, their personality. We haven't seen them all that much in the previous season. I mean, we did see them, but they were just essentially NPCs in the background, except those two Spatian supremacists who were fucking around with Suletta. Azravan. Nika, of course, Nika is deep in thought because she fucked up. She severely fucked up. I wonder how are they gonna solve it. Is she going to willingly give herself up? Say that, hey, it's just a fake random company. I come from this fake company, so expel me. But those two motherfuckers also come here from a fake company, so expel them as well. I wonder if she's gonna be willing to sacrifice herself. I wonder. Ariel moving out. Suletta Mercury versus Ebony Boas. Standard pledge. And winner Suletta, of course. It's very hard to win with Ariel because of the Gambits. It's not a 1v1, as I mentioned. Yeah, in a 1v... right? It's best presented here. The opponent is facing against Suletta with those, like, heavy shields that can withstand Ariel's fire and whatnot, and oh, 1v1 me bro right now, and then Gambits arrive from the back and just smack his antenna off. Yeah, 1v1ing Suletta, unless you also have some Gambits, it's a lost cause. Yeah, she's Mistress Holder, who crushed the 3 top branches, and she will crush any other branch as well. This is an interesting weapon. Physical. Usually Gundams and mecha in general in this series use energy weapons, right? Like lightsabers and guns, right? Light beams and whatnot. This is purely physical. Interesting. Although I think we did see, like, Gundam-sized Bowie knives used at one point in the previous season. I'm not sure of that, though, so don't quote me on that. I wonder if physical weapons have some advantage over, like, a lightsaber. Would a physical, I don't know, titanium, vibranium, whatever knife or sword have any advantage over a lightsaber? Take advantage of the holder's dueling obligation. Indeed, the holder must accept a duel once every 2 weeks. And 5 duels were postponed, so now Suletta is just fighting them all in a series. And of course winning. That should give the challengers an edge. We have a direct confirmation that chain duels are unfair. We did know that, but it's nice to have direct confirmation. But of course, Suletta made a promise, and by God, she will keep it. The rebuilt Ariel now surpasses any other machine in the Benerit Group. It already did, so it's not like it's something new. Elan, of course, doesn't want to challenge her because it's a brand new Elan. It's not the old Elan, it's a brand new Elan. Literally. This is a very interesting scene. On Suletta's side, it's just ruins and dried out trees and spikes and whatnot. And the sky is a little bit more cloudy. And on Miorine's side, The sky is white clouds, trees growing, very idyllic scene, right? If you just look at one half of the screen and the other, the difference is visible. Interesting. Interesting what's it gonna signify? Suletta going the path of destruction and death, and Miorine going the path of revival and good? I don't know. Maybe. Although it's kind of hard for me to imagine Suletta like willingly going the path of destruction, so to speak, willingly being like, "Oh, that fight to the death thing, that's actually kind of nice. Let's fight to the death a little more." Very hard for me to imagine Suletta going in that direction, unless, of course, Mother Dearest puts that idea in her head, in which case Suletta won't even question that, she will just go on a killing rampage. That's how she works. And Miorine, maybe the quiet whatever actually is supposed to bring eternal peace to the world? Again, very hard to tell. But the quiet whatever, I already forgot the term, very much reminds me of Profound Silence from Arknights, an event where all of the sound stopped and all of Iberia's technology just ceased to work. I wonder if it's going to be something similar, where it's just a global EMP, essentially a huge solar flare that fries any electronics in the entire solar system, and we are back to Bronze Age. Because that would stop wars, at least wars in the way they know them now. People would just join into smaller groups, into tribes, and war between them, and it would take some time to rebuild human, human civilization, but it's possible. Let's start Gundam Mercury 2. First theory. I think I had it noted, the name of that event. Something quiet, right? Quiet Zero. And yeah, okay, I already have it noted. EMP that fries pyramid tech, creating a bubble separated from the rest of space. Man and machine fusion, that's a possibility. Fusing man and machine, aka a la the Unity ending in Mass Effect. Transhumanism, possibly. But one more theory I would have is Quiet Zero is an artificial solar flare. The easiest way to fry every single electronic device in the solar system is to cause the sun to emit a huge solar flare. Solar flares are scary, very scary. If a solar flare strong enough occurs on the surface of the sun, one, we have no way of predicting that. Maybe we can predict it by a couple of hours or maybe a day or something like that. So we can't predict that. Even if we were able to predict it, we would not be able to prevent it. We can't exactly influence the sun. We can't exactly prepare for it. There are ways of securing electronics from EMP pulses, sure, but your everyday electronics aren't secured with that. Maybe nuclear power plants, they might be secured. Some military bases might have some communications device that are secured from that. But your phone, your PC, the local sewage treatment plant, they aren't. So we can't Prepare for that. And another thing, it fucks up everything. Every single electronic device will be fried if a solar flare occurs. And I mean everything. From your smartwatch and your smartphone and your dumb watch, everything where any electricity flows, your, thermometer, everything will just cease to work, will just be fried. So solar flares are scary. More so that if a solar flare is strong enough, it can wipe out, at least temporarily, Earth's ionosphere. Ionosphere is the thing that protects our planet from cosmic radiation. So it would not only fry all of our devices, but also turn our planet into the inside of a microwave. Not a great prospect. Very much not a great prospect. Okay. Mobile Suit Gundam, the Witch from Mercury. Falling down, of course, all of the people we already knew. Those two. Suletta looking up at Ariel, was it? Yeah, at Ariel. It almost, some of the imagery of the opening and of the ending almost seems like there would be a rift between Suletta and Ariel. Interesting. And this looks like Airi. Like Airi from the prologue. Telling is gonna be fine. Guel looks like he's borderline homeless. Is this Earth? Is Guel gonna start living as an Earthian? I wonder. He's giving me the vibes of a what was his name? Not Beef Stronov. Brain Anglaus from Overlord. Was defeated, his mind was broken, he ended up on the streets, and then was brought up back to life, essentially, by someone, and turned out to be very useful. I wonder if it's gonna be the same with Guel, where the Earth House will need his help one day, and he will stand up, and he will fulfill, he will do good. He'll be back on track, right? Like, okay, one last duel, or, something like that. I wonder. Guel rises from the bottom. I wonder. The bit in the opening certainly gives me those vibes. Elan, of course, the duality of him, the original Elan and a bunch of fake Elans. Combat. That was the Ariel copy. And those are Gundams of the other companies, if I'm not mistaken. Suletta running, overcast weather. This looks like Earth. And here we have a direct tie into the prologue. This is interesting, that we see Airi and Airi's mother. I'm still a little reluctant to call them Suletta and Prospera. Still a little reluctant, but I wonder. I wonder why they are showing us that. This is a child's hand reaching for a tomato, and Miorine, I think Miorine, because of the white hair, is she shown a little better? No. It's Miorine with a ring on her finger. It looks like a marriage ring, not an engagement ring, because it doesn't have a stone. Interesting. And this is a child's hand. Could that person... Oh. It's not Miorine, it's Miorine's mother. It's Miorine's mother, and this is little Miorine reaching for a tomato. Yep. Yep. Secondary characters. I was very afraid of this scene was going to happen. I don't know, is Miorine going to turn around and start running? Or is something going to be wedged between them? Or something bad is going to happen? But no, they just look at the sunset together, hand in hand. Prospective students will visit our school. They'll experience mock classes and lectures. A school festival, of course. They're having fun in total ignorance. I mean, yeah, but you can't really fault them for being ignorant if the events of Plant Queta are completely suppressed in media. They are sulking, of course. If you get caught up in that again, it's gonna be an issue. I really believe they should be prepared for that eventuality. They form a company now, first and foremost. And we know that companies in this world, corporations in this world, they don't play fair. They send assassins after each other, they plan terrorist attacks, they do all kinds of shit. They are right now they are operating like it was a normal company, like in real actual world that we are living in, right? When you start a company that makes, I don't know, 3D printed door handles, you don't have to fear for your life. Who's gonna come after you? Nobody. You just print your door handles and you sell them on eBay, and that's your company, right? It doesn't look the way. It doesn't look that way in this world. So I really think they should all be prepared for the worst. Maybe not at school, but whenever they are somewhere. Although now with the two terrorists being enrolled at school as well, they should be taking precautions. They should at least be wearing some bulletproof vests underneath their clothes. I'm not talking like fully kitted, armored exosuits or anything, but there should be a technology of thin, hard to notice bulletproof vests, or at least stab-proof vests. They should have something like that. Everybody should have some means of defending themselves. Weapons on school grounds are probably forbidden, but I mean, you could get over that very easily. Just to duel with whoever forbade it and make the stake of the duel allow us to carry guns. It would work. I mean, rules at Asticassia are set by dueling, so I know they probably won't do that, but I feel like this is the point after going through Plant Queta. This is the point where you start walking around prepared. Some exosuits. You have the technology, you have the production line to make some exosuits for personal use. Some tiny little lightsabers that you can keep on your belt, or, something like that. But of course, Suletta is going to protect them. She's going to splat anybody who endangers them. She seems in good spirits. She's always in good spirits. She very quickly gets over whatever ails her. She went outside the plant to help Miorine. Yeah. And Miorine is at Benerit Group. Recovery from a spinal injury is a long-term struggle. But at least it's possible. Spinal injuries in current world are sometimes impossible to heal. Although there's very interesting technology by using stem cells. Even if someone's spinal cord is completely broken and severed, and they are paralyzed like waist down, you can use stem cells to inject them in the site, and after a while, the spinal cord kinda sorta repairs itself. Not fully, but it kinda sorta does. Another interesting technology is when you have like two ends of the severed spine, right? Like, right? Two bits of a severed spine. You add some electrodes on one side You pull cables to the other side and place electrodes on the other side. And the cables essentially bypass the broken part of your spinal cord. So we are getting some very curious technology coming at us in the nearest decades, probably. Those things are never fast. If you hear about some revolutionary therapy nowadays, chances are in like 10 years there will be some human trials, and in 30 years it will become mainstream. So it's kind of shitty, but that's the way it works. I mean, that's assuming you even keep hearing about that therapy, because there's plenty of things that you hear about that are revolutionary and whatnot, and you never hear about them again. You'll need to rest. You'll need rest too. I fully expected her to take Deling's seat, but apparently not. Jetark mobile suits were used to carry out the attack, indeed. Acting CEO Lau Daniel. Right, because the CEO proper was... Wait, is he from the Jetark house? He is. Yeah, he's from the Jetark house. So, of course, the CEO was killed, so he's acting CEO because he's the son? He's Guo's brother, stepbrother, something like that, I think. I didn't recognize Shadik initially. I've never seen him with his hair up, so I didn't recognize him, but it is indeed Shadik. Two machines with unregistered permit codes, and they were Gundams, indeed. Yeah, Vim Jetark was killed, and they are sending a fleet to Earth. Is it going to turn into a full-scale battle? I wonder. Entirely possible. And if the truth gets out, our company's credibility will be ruined. That's exactly what Shadik seems to want, at least to a degree. You really don't know where those two Gundams came from? No, Father, why? Why would I do that? I have no reason. I was always loyal to you. And of course he's welcomed by his harem. Is that why you summoned those two? My first thought, he summoned those two hired assassins to enroll at the school, but then immediately, nah, can't be. They probably mean that, oh, he summoned them to the Queta plant. No, they are actually enrolling to Asticassia. They'll be questioning Miorine, interestingly enough. Prospera. I can't help wondering if there was a better way. Probably, but I mean, in the spur of a moment, you can't exactly think, really. You just do the first action that comes to mind. And the simplest action is just splat. Right? You don't have the time to analyze the situation. If I use my left hand to block the shots and then grab him delicately by the collar with my right hand, I would be able to pick him up, maybe take away his gun, or, you know? No. Danger! Splat. Simple. If you two hadn't gone to the rescue, yeah, Miorine and President could have been killed. Indeed. And Suletta indeed did the right thing. Also, notice how her demeanor instantly changes. You did the right thing, Suletta. Right, sad Suletta. You did the right thing, Suletta. Happy Suletta. Simple. She's very simple. Also, I just noticed the hairband is the same hairband that her mother wore. How did I only now notice it? How did I notice it only now? And have you found their source? The source of those other Gundams, I'm assuming. Of course, Nika is going to be jumpy. I want to have a chat with Ariel, get some life advice. You seem to be lost in thought. Suletta is very empathetic. She really finds it easy to empathize with people and notice whenever they are distressed. You're a precious friend to me. And of course, Suletta amazes her because Nika is very not very indecisive, but she would want to do something, she would want to do good, but it always turns out bad, and she doesn't know, she can't stand up again for herself against some people. She's kind of wishy-washy a little. And Suletta is very simple. Danger! Ariel, let's go solve the problem. Miorine is sad. How can I make Miorine happy? There's a problem. How can I find a solution? Simple. She doesn't brood. She doesn't mull anything over. She just acts. It's an enviable trait. I'm gonna be honest. Yeah, my mom was with me. She always helps me move forward, and that's all she needed. Run and gain one, move forward and gain two. It's almost like some sleeper agent wake up phrase. And we have brand new people. Suletta didn't recognize her. She heard her voice though. I guess she doesn't have good voice memory? Or maybe the voice was distorted. That's possible. You want to join our house? Of course, Noria Dunok and Sophie Pulone. Interesting that they are using their real names. House no data. Criminal record no data. Ha ha ha. Recommendations from Dara Materials. Okay. And interesting that it's Elan that enrolls them. Is he on to Shadik's plan? Probably not. What do we do? Those are some interesting plushies. Okay, the giraffe is the mom, so I guess the mother was demoted and replaced by an orange ball eventually. It's kind of sad that her family are just plushies. I mean, both of them probably have some sad, sobby backstory. They are from Earth, after all. I wonder which way we're going to go with them, with these characters. Because we can essentially go two ways, and both of those ways would fit this show. We can either try to redeem them somehow, right? They notice that, oh, maybe there is another way. Maybe we don't need to be terrorists. Maybe we don't need to kill people. Maybe we can just be regular schoolgirls at Asticassia and have fun with that, right? We can go that route. Or we can go the tragic route, which kind of seems a little bit more on brand for this show, where Suletta perhaps even grows close to them, and everybody grows a little close to them, and then they have to kill them. Wouldn't surprise me. Or we could mirror what happened with Guel and his father, where Suletta actually fights to the death and destroys some Gundam, destroys their chest where the pilot sits. The chest opens and it turns out it's her inside, her little sister, dead and bleeding. Suletta destroys some mecha. Inside is a dead, quote unquote, little sister. This feels on brand for this show. But I came here to be your friend. On one hand, she came here to be her friend, and I fully believe that she means it. On the other, her definition of a friend is kind of skewed. So teach me all you know. Sophie. Little sister. I'm gonna cross that out. Sophie. Inside is dead Sophie. Killed by her, in case I have trouble deciphering what I meant again. What's the meaning of this? Yeah, we're just like you. It's a dummy company set up by the prince. A go-between doesn't need to know. Exactly. Who do you think you are? You're just a go-between. You're just a messenger. No one in Earth House, including me, wants to be placed in any more danger. Well, kinda too late for that, I'm afraid. Yeah, you talk as if you're a victim in all of this. She is, but it was kinda sorta her own doing. I guess her intentions were pure, if I get the whole picture correctly. Nika's intentions as being the go-between between Earthians and Spatians were pure. She wanted to facilitate dialogue between them, right? She wanted to help them resolve their issues and solve everything peacefully. But she was used as a go-between between a guy who needs a terrorist group to do some terrorizing and said terrorist group. So you talk as if you're a victim. She kinda is a victim because that's not how she wanted it to go, but she kinda is a victim because her involvement made the whole thing possible. So it's a very hard situation, and I wonder how will Nika get out of it. Yeah, thanks to your efforts, we were able to mount an attack on Miorine Rembran. She's right. She's right, you know. What a lovely dream. You wanted to become a bridge between Earth and space, yeah. What a lovely dream. So let's work together to achieve our respective goals. That way, I guess none of us will be exposed. I wonder if Nika will willingly expose herself in order to expose the both of them. I wonder if she's gonna have the balls to do that. Showing her little sister around the school, having some fun moments with her. She really is feral. She likes to play and demoted her mother. Suletta Mercury saved her from saved Suletta from Elan, and she in turn stole his communicator, didn't she? And what was she drawing? A skull with spiders probably signifies that animals on Earth are dead and extinct. Clean, well-circulated air. Well, air on Earth is very polluted, right? A dilapidated train station, sky of vivid blue. I don't remember the vistas of Earth from the previous season, but I think they were covered by smog, by pollution. So the sky isn't vivid blue either. Lush vegetation. Meanwhile, on Earth, there are some dead branches, or is that a snake? I think it might be a dead snake. Cheerful, smiling faces. None of that on Earth. It makes me sick. Of course it does. I wonder what will be Elan's role in all of it. He seems like he will get involved somehow, but how exactly? Is he going to unwittingly help Suletta? Wouldn't surprise me. He's not onto Shadik's plan. I might be looking too deep into that, but he seems like he's set up for an unwitting foil to Shadik's plan. I'm just completely spitballing here, but I'm getting that vibe. Can't exactly explain it, can't back it up with any arguments, but that's the vibe I'm getting. Some go-between I mean, you are a go-between. You are facilitating communication between Earthians and Spatians. Problem is the result of that communication. I did not expect Martin to be the head of the house. I thought it's Miorine, or I don't know, anybody else, but not Martin. He really doesn't strike me as the head of the house, but apparently I'm responsible for everyone's safety, and of course Nika is hiding it, because of course she is. Chance to promote, and of course the bullies are here. Mistress Holder doesn't need to worry about tomorrow's rumble ring. Are you ready to rumble? Should have been a stage for Mr. Guel. Well, alas, he's probably somewhere on Earth. Our Jetark house is gonna smash you into pieces. Your Jetark house tried, not once, not twice. Does anybody really believe they stand a chance against Suletta? Honestly, right now I have to question, maybe not their sanity, but I have to question them. Why are they still trying to fight Suletta? It's obvious that whoever challenges her will lose. Even if through the sheer fact that nobody else has proper Gundams. Like, sure, they might have Gundams that damage the pilot, but not a proper Gundam that works with the pilot. Whoever Suletta duels will lose. It's plain to see. What's a Rumble Ring? Apparently it's a free-for-all battle royale. Nika is missing, of course she is. Prince asked you to look into it. Gundam in a different lineage from the Ur or Thorn. They're Gundams, I'm assuming, different lineage. So I'm assuming it's because their house had their own Gundam technology, developed their own Gundam technology to some degree. After Gundam was declared, Gundam technology was declared illegal and destroyed, they continued work from that point on, maybe, or something like that. Meanwhile, Ur and Thorn are based on technology of Aerial, right? The technology that was much more developed. Because each company had their own research into gun format, because why would they work together? Working individually on that technology would give them an edge. So each company, each corporation has their own lineage of Gundams. Interesting. What about you? Does Suletta Mercury have what you were looking for? She does, but of course she doesn't feel the same thrill. Because they aren't fighting. Simple. There won't be any thrill when you're walking around eating some cotton candy and having fun at a school festival. What thrill is to be had there, right? Access to gun format is protected, but she can start up the Gundam regardless. Did she hack the gun format, or did she start it up like as a pure mecha without the gun connection? Probably the latter. I'll leave our school immediately. You know who we've been in contact with. I'll tell them about me and the dummy companies. Sure. Destroying that communicator won't really help, so I guess it's just a statement. Destroying it. You wouldn't want to get in our way. Indeed. The transfer students are quite ruthless. Meanwhile, Nika isn't. She's not gonna shank them in a back alley. They will shank her in a back alley. So it's a bit of an uneven playing field. You can't change things on Earth by yourself. You're making light of the reality. Idealism versus realism. Nika believes that she can facilitate exchange, some dialogue between Earth and space, between Earthians and Spatians, and perhaps bring everybody together, bring everybody to understand each other and make the world a better place. Meanwhile, those two are realistic. They know shit's fucked, and they know shit's fucked on a much bigger level than any singular person can possibly influence. Which is kinda true. It is very much true, because shit's fucked on a systemic level. From the way corporations are set up, to the way Earth is used, to the way the social divide is created, to the stigma that Earthians have. No single person can reverse it. No single person can fix it. So they are kinda right here. You're making light of the reality. You must have realized that an Earthian orphan couldn't just go off to school without paying us back. Okay, there's also the thing of debt. Nika is an Earthian orphan who stayed with them for a while, and then she was sent to the school. Probably they used her idealism. They needed a mole at Asticassia, and Nika was like, "Oh, may I dream of having dialogue between Earthians and Spatians." So the Earth Pirates were like, "Hey, she wants to be a go-between. She can be a go-between. Send them to Asticassia, and she can be our contact. She can be our contact point. Let her believe that she's gonna be fulfilling her wish, but in reality, she's just gonna be a glorified walkie-talkie for us." Probably what happened. Suletta, ex machina. Please don't do anything to hurt Miss Nika. And this scene also really, really shows Suletta's purity. Very much. The go-between may have blabbed about our secrets. Yeah. She hasn't yet. She should have. Honestly, if she's already in danger because she might have done that, she might as well do that and make the accusations real, right? Which means we should get rid of these two right now. And this really I don't know why Miss Miorine forgive me. Did Suletta promise to never challenge anybody to a fight or something? If there was a promise like that in the previous season, I don't remember it, so do let me know, either in the comments or on my Discord, whichever you prefer. I challenge you to a duel. This really shows Suletta's purity. She's in danger. Her life is in danger. Nika's life is in danger. She's standing against ruthless people ready to just splat her. And she's very... What can I do? Duel! Right! Dueling solves all the problems, and I'm good at dueling. Let's duel! It's kind of like you were ambushed in a dark alley by someone with a gun telling you to give him your wallet, and you're like, rock, paper, scissors. If I win, you leave me alone. If you win, I'm gonna give you my wallet. Kind of same vibes. You won't lay a hand on Nika, of course. We have no reason to agree, they are right. It's not like the other stake is, if they win, they can freely execute Nika, so... your duels are just a game where no one dies, and she doesn't like that because it doesn't have the thrill. She likes fighting to the death. Mobile suits are tools for killing people. She's correct. She is objectively correct. That's why Gundams were created. Of course, Suletta believes that they will be used to save lives through medicine. Kinda, sorta. Not Gundams, not mobile suits. Gund format. Sure. But you can't really call an artificial arm that uses Gund format a Gundam, can you? So I guess it's a little bit of a simplification. You'll get your duel. We'll show Big Sis that Gundams are just machines made for violence. And they will probably crank up their power output to 11, and they will actually try to kill Suletta. Meanwhile, Suletta will keep shooting them with green beams. And she's probably gonna win. Edie. Edie. What can we glance from the Edie? Suletta in the darkness, reaching for the stars, reaching for Miorine, but Miorine always escapes her, always evades, always goes past her. Then Ariel in menacing red. Their hands don't touch in the end, and Ariel, I wanted to say attacks Suletta, but it more seems like Ariel is merging with her, kinda sorta. And you see the techno bullshit appearing on Suletta's body, which is What was it called? I'm just gonna call it permet sickness. Fucking everything in this universe is permet, so I'm gonna call it permet sickness. Sure, it works. That is Suletta with her head down, dancing with Gambits. I initially thought it's Miorine, but no, it's Suletta. It's the grown-up Suletta that we see later on. Yeah, you can tell by the eyebrows. This really looks like grown-up Suletta. A star, inside of it Miorine. And we go into Gambits flying through space. This looks like grown-up Suletta. No. I mean, it looks like grown-up Suletta. It does, but I had the idea that there might be some sort of a time skip where both Suletta and Miorine are grown up, but Miorine isn't. So that wouldn't make sense. It's probably gonna be another ball, maybe. Or maybe some sort of a school event, prom, something like that. Maybe Suletta with her hair down. Miorine very much trusting Suletta, closing her eyes. And Ariel protecting them both, keeping them both close to her heart and to her cockpit. Holding hands, little trembling, but in the end they clasped the fingers and nothing more happened. That's good. Here's the keychain. We both hate being closed here. Making your daughter do something like that. Didn't the act? Yeah. I'm sure Suletta was desperate. I like this. I very, very much like this. Won't you be friends with her again after all this questioning? No need to tell me. Of course I will be. Of course I understand. What Suletta did was right. I might not like it. It might have shocked me. It might have traumatized me. But I understand that she was coming from the right place. I like it. I was afraid. I was so afraid we're gonna go through some drama bullshit of Miorine avoiding Suletta again for half the season. None of that. None of that. Miorine knows what's the deal. She knows Suletta did good. Once she goes back to Asticassia, things might not immediately go back to how they were, but at least I see it as a guarantee that Miorine will not be avoiding Suletta, which is something I was afraid of. Good. I like how this show creates problem, very quickly solution. We don't ruminate on any drama. We don't stick to it for like half a season. There is no he said, she said. There is no tragedy of misunderstandings like it's common in modern romance anime, right? In episode 3, the girl sees the boy with a woman, and then second to last episode, it turns out that, oh, that woman was just my sister, and the whole drama could have been avoided by just talking. This is not Gundam. Gundam, which from Mercury does good. Thumbs up. I love you, Miorine. I love you for that. Quite zero concepts. Secret project that Delling was pursuing using the Gund format's network will rewrite this into a world without war. 1. I didn't know there's a network of Gund format. Interesting. Very first association, that's probably has nothing to do with it. The morphing grid in Power Rangers. I don't know, it just popped into my mind. Will rewrite this into a world without war. How? I'd like you to take over the work of Quiet Zero, and the Quiet Zero looks like a device in a shaft inside of some asteroid, maybe? Or a big ship with a big laser or something. Maybe that laser will shoot at the sun to start up a A solar flare? Maybe. What did they wish for? I wonder what they wish for. I guess we'll see in the next episode, right? Okay. Whew. An hour and a half. My ears are burning up. Very good first episode. It immediately got me back into the swing of things. There was no gentle introduction, right? There was no starting with some slice of life moments, some comedy, some dueling, and then slowly introducing the drama and stuff like that. No, we are starting pretty much exactly where we left off. All the drama is already here. All the excitation, is that even a word? All the excitement, all of that is already here. We had our slow introduction at the beginning of the first season, and this really feels like the second part, not like a separate second season. There are no introductions again to everybody, none of that. We start where we left off. I can appreciate that because we're not wasting time, simply. We are getting right into the thick of things, and by God, are things thick. Are things thick, and they're only getting thicker. It's not enough that Shadik's plan is still well underway, that there's gonna be some shift around at Jetark House, that the entire Benerit Group is headless. There's also the Quiet Zero project that we have no fucking clue what it is, but from what we hear, it has world-altering properties. It can alter how the world works. It can eliminate war, at least in theory. And I'm left scratching my head how exactly. Like, I would understand it. Wait. Okay. I wanted to say, I would understand it if Gund format was common, if everybody was using Gund format to some degree, and it turns out that everything using Gund is connected to some Gund network that you can influence, right? Like, I'm using a Gund phone, someone's using a Gund scooter, someone else has a Gund pacemaker, right? And then you tap into the Gund network and you delete aggression from everybody's minds. Or something like that. Or I don't know, but if everybody has something Gund, then you could possibly influence everybody at the same time, right? Or you could maybe make Gund machines not work for military purposes. Or you could make Gund weapons not hurt people. Gund tools be unusable against other person, right? You can't use your Gund hammer to bash someone's head in, right? This kind of thing. But it's not the case. So I wanted to say, Miorine's work and everybody's work at Gund Arm Incorporated would create medical devices that use Gund format. Many people need medical devices. As I said, pacemaker, artificial arm, I don't know, tooth implants, stuff like that, whatever. That would increase the amount of people who use Gund stuff. Thus, it would increase the amount of people influenced by whatever tomfuckery you want to do to the Gund network. Maybe that's one of the reasons why Delling started... when he expressed his support for Miorine's company, he didn't know that they're gonna use the Gund format for medical purposes. So that can't be it. Yeah, I have no clue what Delling is planning. I have no clue what Quiet Zero is. How is it supposed to work? I don't think we are supposed to know that. We will learn about it with time. Or maybe someone already analyzed the previous season, the prologue, the supplementary material on their website, hidden in the code of of whatever and put it all together? I don't know, probably. But as far as I'm concerned, we are not supposed to know what Quite Zero is. And we don't know what it is. Next. I really wonder where Nika's story is going. It seems very much a situation without an out. If she decides to go against our transfer students, she will also be going against herself. She will put herself in danger. Now that leaves us with a question. Is she going to do that? Is she going to sacrifice herself to out the both of them? That's a question for the ages, isn't it? Or are we going to solve it through duels? That's entirely plausible as well. Another thing is, what the fuck even is Prospera's goal anymore? It seems still like she wants revenge on Delling, but now she wants Miorine to continue Delling's plans? What? Or maybe those are plans that Delling decided, no, I don't want to do that. It was just a thought experiment. I'm just going to set it aside. Prospera got into it, and she wants Miorine to continue that work against Delling's wishes, using the fact that Delling is out of commission. So that Delling wakes up and he's like, daughter of mine, what the fuck did you do? You weren't supposed to create the torment vortex. I precisely wrote, don't make the torment vortex. And you did it. Or whatever the name of the fictional book is in that meme about. It was torrent vortex, right? Torment vortex, something like that. I know, doesn't matter. It might be a situation like that, where Prospera wants Miorine to continue the work that Delling doesn't want. To, mentally fuck him up that his daughter would do something like that. Maybe. We'll see. Plenty of foreshadowing in the opening and ending, but I don't know what it foreshadows. So I guess it's good that I see it's a foreshadowing because it's gonna stick in my mind and I'm gonna recognize what it foreshadows when that thing happens. Thumbs up. As I said, a very, 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 very good opening to the second half, and I'm craving more. And I wish I was behind. I wish I was behind because I would be able to watch episode 2. Alas, it's not the case. So, I think we should end it. I don't think I have anything more to say, but if you do, if you have something more to say about this episode, tell me in the comments down below. What did you think of this episode, of my theories, my reactions, stuff like that? You don't need to worry about spoilers, but if you wanted to discuss this episode in real time, there's my Discord here, also in the description. Join it, and we can all talk about it. And leave a comment for the algorithm gods, of course. Like this video if you liked it, dislike it if you disliked it for some reason, but tell me that reason so I can improve. Subscribe to the channel to be notified of future releases of Gundam Witch from Mercury, Benerit Saito Sani Sakai ni Iku, Oyukiyumi no Kaina, Symfugir XV, and other shows that will be coming in the future, other seasonals, of course. You might want to click the bell icon to be notified of that and of whenever I go live, because I do stream sometimes. Support the channel if you want, monetarily, on Patreon or Throne, for example. Links in the description below. On Patreon, for $10 a month, you can get early access to non-seasonal shows like Symfugir XV. And for just $1, you get a role on the Discord and a place in the credits. And if you don't want to spend any money whatsoever, share my content, spread the word. It costs you absolutely nothing and helps the channel a lot. And gets me a little bit closer to my dream of making this my full-time job. And now, with all of that out of the way, that's gonna be it from me for today. So as always, you guys do the good stuff, and I'm gonna see you in the next one. Cheers! And here's the list of my Patreons: QB, Bobin, Without a Net, Fruit, Zyrainer, Akomancer, Marsh, Yuki Ally, Cure Dynamic, Fussel, and of course Dr. Watt and Hans Peter. And you can be on this list as well, and you don't need your Gundam to do that.